Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to do a trailer breakdown for the Home Alone remake that is going directly to Disney Plus, and that is called Home Sweet Home Alone. Um, Now I watched I guess technically you would call this a teaser trailer, but it's this is a remake of Home Alone. Everybody knew this was coming. The Disney had announced this um, a while ago. I think when they originally acquired a number of Fox properties, they announced that they would be rebooting Home Alone, and it would be something that would probably be going directly to Disney Plus, which we can see now is the case. Now this Home Alone is basically kind of a paint by numbers version of the original Home Alone, except that instead this is taking place in England. Instead of Kevin McAllister, we now have a new character played by Archie Yates, whose name is Max Mercer. That's a little too close to somebody else's name, but basically you have that. Allison B plays his mother, and Pete Holmes plays his father. Now the thing about this movie is it basically is the exact same as the first Home Alone. They just switched up a few different things. Instead of being Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern trying to break into the house, it is this couple played by Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney, or brother and sister maybe, since he seems to be playing a very effeminate man. I don't know if he's gay, but maybe. And basically, it's the same thing. It's Christmas time. They're looking to break into this kid's house, and he has to defend his home. They even have lines from the original Home Alone, like "This is my house, I must defend it." Stuff like that. I don't know if they're going to go too deeply into some of the other stuff that they did in Home Alone, like the shoplifting scenes, or the stuff involving an older man, like stuff like the old man down the street that helps Kevin at the end of the movie, or any of that kind of stuff. I have no idea if they're going to go into that. They do throw a little Easter egg in there at one point where it shows what looks like a cop with a name badge that says McAllister. Now I don't know if that's just an Easter egg or if they're playing that off as that is the adult Kevin McAllister, who's for some reason doesn't appear to be played by Macaulay Culkin, but maybe. Um, I assume that it's really more just some form of an Easter egg. I don't know why they would stick that in the trailer though. If it was that, just because it's kind of giving people a false idea of what the movie is. Now, I don't know if necessarily this is a continuation of the Home Alone series. It is being marketed as a reboot, so I would assume that it is not in the same universe as the original Home Alone. Now, as for the actors, Archie Yates, he was in Jojo Rabbit. He won several awards for it. He's not a bad child actor. I just don't necessarily think he's very good for this type of role. He doesn't really the one-liners don't necessarily come off that well. He has one really funny moment in the trailer, which is at the very end when he tricks Rob Delaney into jumping onto a trampoline trap and launching himself against a tree. Which again, that is pretty funny. But the thing is with Home Alone, just like anything else in that kind of a vein, is it's a gimmick movie. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2 are relatively good movies. Um, but the problem is that after you get past that point, it's like, what do you do? The whole point of the movies is a kid who's by himself for whatever reason in some place, and he is being stalked by people that are looking to break into the building that he is in, whether that's his home or a New York skyrise or whatever. Normally, it is the kid's home, but you have this whole plot line in this where it's just some of the jokes seem to be a little bit recycled. I think if I remember correctly, they did the cooking spray thing in Home Alone 1 with Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, where Macaulay Culkin puts it all down on the stairs and stuff like that. It seems like we're doing that again. Home Alone 3, I know there was a scene where one of the guys was dressed up like Santa Claus. It looks like we're doing that again. There are actually the trampoline trap actually was one that I think again they did in Home Alone 3, which again wasn't a well. I don't think Home Alone 3 was necessarily a bad movie, but it wasn't anywhere close to the first two. But then you have a few other ones. There's another funny one too, where he has this like air gun or something like that, and he's shooting billiard balls out of it, and he just nails the Rob Delaney right in the face, and you just hear like a skull crack. I mean, there are a couple of funny moments in the trailer. Don't get me wrong. There are a couple of little funny moments in the trailer, but I don't know if it's something we've seen before. Let's put it that way. This is something I've seen done before, and I've probably seen done better. So why would I want to watch something like this when I can watch something that was made better with better actors probably too? I mean, you had Joe Pesci in there, who's everybody knows his pedigree. I don't think Daniel Stern is a bad actor in any stretch of the imagination. And Macaulay Culkin was an amazing child actor. Again, leaps and bounds ahead of Archie Yates, at least at this point. He also started a lot younger, so it's only up for this kid who's doing it now. But it feels like they just simply recycled the idea. They changed the location, they changed the people trying to break into the house, and that was about it. Everything else seems like it's about the same. I'm not going to go too deep into a lot of stuff with this movie because there really isn't too much to talk about. Again, it seems like it's basically the exact same thing. And then you also have the scenes intercut with the mother who's trying to get back to home to be with her son, because basically they booked two separate flights. Because they couldn't get on one flight all at once, the whole family, so they had to book a few people, a few members of the family on a different flight. Now, normally, if you're sane, you would probably have one parent transfer their flight over to the other plane in order to, be with the kid, who, again, is only supposed to be about 10 years old. But in this scenario, it's kind of presumed that basically during the process of booking, it was so rushed that they were unable to change their own flights, and they had to book this extra flight last minute or something. And because of that, they accidentally forgot him. The other thing that you're kind of missing in this too is that great acting by John Candy in the original, where he's traveling with the mother across country because she has to get back home, since I believe they're flying from New York to California or something like that. I forget exactly where the original Home Alone is supposed to take place. Maybe it's Chicago, but I can't remember. I know the second one takes place in New York City, but I don't know if the first one takes place there, or in New York State anyway. But basically, you had those whole intercut scenes. You had that great chemistry between the woman that was playing the mother and John Candy. The back and forth, the funny stories that John Candy tells along the way to try and kind of ease her a little bit at what's happening with her kid. All the stuff with Kevin McAllister, like I said before, the shoplifting scene, the scenes where he's going around the house and having a party, and it's like, oh, I'm home alone. It's the idea I can do whatever I want. That's every kid's kind of wet dream. And again, he has this massive house to be in, which he can use for all sorts of insane booby traps later on. But like I said, it's a trailer that shows me something I've seen before, and it's shown me something that I've probably seen done better before. So that's really all I can say about it at this point. Like I said, there's a couple funny little gags in it, but it doesn't look like anything special. I don't think I'll be tuning into Disney Plus specifically for this. I kind of had a problem with them rebooting this series anyway, just because, again, it was kind of a gimmick movie to begin with, and I think it kind of wore out its welcome after the first two entries, but that's just me. I want to know what you guys think. Do you want to watch Home Sweet Home Alone? I don't know why well, I guess this is a reboot. I guess they couldn't just call it Home Alone, like 5 or 6. I don't know what number they're technically on now. But do you want to see it? Are you excited to see it? Do you like Archie Yates as an actor, the new pseudo Kevin McAllister, even though he's not the same? The character is not the same person. It's a different person. Do you think that the McAllister Easter egg in there is actually an Easter egg, or does Kevin McAllister exist in this universe? He's just older. Put your thoughts in the comments below. As usual, I like to read them. Hit the bell for notifications. Hit the like button. Subscribe. And remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?